Hey there, guys. We've got news for the Japanese server today in this video, and joining me to discuss the JP news is once again StarUltros. He plays both global and JP, so I grabbed him for the JP news. You can say hello again.
こんばんは、皆さん. Said hello in Japanese, for the Japanese viewers.
Indeed. So, in this one, we're going to be talking about the weekly news for the JP server. And there's a few reasons for this. For one thing, we're going to talk about Cloud, and he's like a special case today. Also, because I like talking about Brave Exvius, and on the global server, what do you talk about? The lack of everything. There's nothing on the global server anymore. So we're going to make JP news to make something to do. So again, thank you for joining me, Ultros.
Always a pleasure to be here.
All right, so the big man of the hour is Cloud. Yes, Cloud again, like the 37th version of Cloud in Brave Exvius. But this one's a pretty big deal, wouldn't you say? Have you actually had a chance to go over his kit and check him out?
I have, and I didn't really pay any attention to the live stream that happened this week, so I didn't know any of his details. And seeing everything he can do, I'm like, are they sure they want to release this? Because that's really setting a precedent for the next units that are going to come after.
Oh my lord, I saw this guy and mind is blown. And FYI for people watching the video, as you can kind of see on screen, we're using Google Translate for the JP stuff. Google Translate cannot translate, at least not the way I'm using it. It cannot translate pictures, so any of the art will not be translated, but most of the text should be, just, FYI. But yeah, this Cloud dude, he has everything, right?
Yeah, he can do support, he can break, he can deal insane amounts of damage. You just need this guy. Whose LB is one-man army? No, who's Lightning? I don't know. Cloud's one-man army now.
I mean, so we're going to go over Cloud's kit just like I do for the brand new global units, because this is a brand new JP unit, and... Okay, so we're going to go over the kit first, but I really think, I to the bottom of my soul, believe that the JP team have basically reassigned at least one of the global unit designers. Because as we go through this kit, you're going to notice it is extremely familiar to some of our best global units. So there's no doubt in my mind that, I don't want to be negative, but let's just say because the global server is not doing well, it seems like they're just moving the global team to the JP team. Because you're going to see this kit. There is no question this wasn't made by a global designer, like the person that made some of our best global units, right?
That could totally be seeing a unit with that much utility in them. This is not JP standard at all.
I know, and what really sells it for me is right here, we're going to skip a little bit, is going down to this ability. I've never seen this on a JP kit, and I could be mistaken, but the chaining abilities. These are just straight out of the global playbook. Chaining with whatever and 20 LB field. JP units just don't do this. They never have done this. Global units have been doing this for 2 years, right?
Yeah, all of them. Well, basically every cow unit has had these things. JP never.
Yeah, never. And the whole kit, we're going to go over it. This is like Sylvie, this is like Rick, this is like Arhayo, all of them, the perfect unit in every possible way. He has everything in his kit. So he's got 3 different categories, and this is kind of funny too, because 2 weeks ago, I made that video about Last Remnant and a fan design, Rush Sykes, and a lot of the stuff I suggested they really should be doing for units, 2 weeks later, here's Cloud, exactly the stuff I asked for, right?
It's you prophesized it.
So he has completely equivalent support for all 3 of his elements, fire, lightning, and water. He's got all 3 of the categories. He's got all 3 of the amplifies at full power, fire, lightning, and water. He can swap his element on demand to fire, lightning, and water. It removes the old imbue. His element, his LB is non-elemental. What was that?
The imbue removal is something that GL does a lot, but not so much in JP.
Yeah, I think the only one in JP that's done this is Edward and Elric, like the original version, right? The original NV version.
Those would do it for the entire team, and then it's just too bad for Cloud. He only does it for himself. But then again, I mean, if you want to bring a multi-element team, then there you go.
Oh, I know. And we're not going to go over his entire kit entirely. It would just take too long. But let's just go over the big highlights. So he's got the usual NV plus LB boost. He's got 150 amplify to all three elements. He is the first NV plus with 150 amp, right?
He is, and they really hit it out of the park with having 3 elements for it.
3 of them. He's got the global exclusive chains that fill his LB on demand, which is great. He's got these 3 elemental swaps on demand. He's got attack break immunity for the party, and this is kind of stuff that JP units never have on damage dealers. Like, damage dealers don't get utility in JP. Cloud's got all the utility. Like, he's like a full damage dealer, right?
Like, he is the highest damage dealer you'll ever see on JP for now.
Let's just pop real quick to a preview of his damage. Here is Cloud's damage at 3.8 billion. Now, ignoring the Meteor skill that we don't have in JP, ignore the Undying, but ignore Red because he's brand new, and ignore the Global Gear Fae. So their next best JP unit before this was 2.2. Cloud is like almost a double jump in damage from the previous unit.
That is insane.
It is so insane. And Cloud's got perfect Dispel. He's got 89 breaks on a literal damage dealer. 89 breaks to Spirit and Defense. 40% Weapon and Peril. Again, this is more common lately in JP where the NV pluses get Weapon and Perils, but most of them don't have Weapon and Peril, right? A good one, that is.
Well, lately they've been having 45 or 50, so his is a little bit on the lower side, but still, like the earlier only had 25%, so that's really good.
Then he's got a stat buff for the party. He's got fields of 3 elements for both sides. Like, he's got fields too on Imperil field and Amplify field. Now, to be fair, the percents are on the lower side. 30% for the Amplify and 20% for the Imperil. That's pretty low. But, I mean, if you don't have anything better, he's got that too, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he can be your breaker for a fight that's going to be a little longer. Well, maybe not the breaker because his breaks are only for 3 turns on the 7-turn cooldown. But if you want him to be the field unit, though, he can definitely keep them up.
He's got this too, the 87 break on an unlock, so we can do that as well. It's not a full break, but it's something.
This is not the unlock. It's the preemptive.
Oh, preemptive. Okay. Gotcha. And just to go over more of his kit again, he's got 200% Omni Killer, something no NV before this have had. He's got 5 stacks of Guts at a 30% HP lock, 29% trigger, meaning it always activates 5 times in a turn. I don't think any unit in the game has that many, do they?
Not on GP for sure, but didn't Chow have something like that?
I think Chow had the higher trigger than the threshold or whatever, but his was only 3, I believe, not 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's bonkers again. And I'm just still going. He's got a 1,000% leader skill for all lightning element. So again, a leader skill. He has everything in his kit. He's got a after modifiers and all that, 1,100 times LB, 880 just flat out all the time. No setup. It's non-elemental, and it's an overdrive LB. For global players that don't know, it's the best kind of LB. It's better than regular. It's better than Brave Shifting. It's better than SLBs. It's overdrive because you can do this every single turn like a regular Brave Shift LB. It is not SLB. And then the overdrive system, which the wiki doesn't show. He's got overdrive for Rebellion, the overcap buff. So, what doesn't he have?
Like, nothing. Well, he can't tank. That's the only thing he can't do.
That is true. He cannot be your tank. And he's got, like I said, double almost the highest damage in the entire game at the current time in JP. So, That's Cloud.
He can do it all. Like you gotta have it. He is going to change the meta, going to change the game.
Mm-hmm.
So get your Lapis and just pull.
And here's something else, a really big deal.
Yeah.
JP has been at 0.75% rate for Neos in the past, Neo Pluses. Now he's at 1%. So he's at 1%. Red, the new one at Nvidia Plus, is at 1%. So JP is also raising the rates to 1% for Neos. This is, again, an amazing change. And it's like, are they copying Global? Was it always intended to be this for this banner? You know, you can conspiracy theory all day, but it's kind of amusing that Global just got theirs at 1%, and now JP the next day is getting 1% as well.
Yeah, it's a bit funny. And then you're thinking, well, they're just trying to sell Cloud a little bit better and celebrate 8.5 anniversary. So it all falls properly into place. Maybe they just really wanted to time it properly, and they did. But seeing as Global just got it and it's 1%, like it didn't feel like there was any fanfare for Global getting the NB Plus, and anything that's cool is getting released in JP actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. And the one more thing to cover is because people often say that there is no pity for units in JP. That is incorrect. I'm not sure where that really came from. There's pity for JP in pretty much everything, right?
I'm not sure if premiums had pity though.
Oh, no. That's true. The premiums, yeah. I'm talking about Neo Pluses. I mean, yeah, but
You're right, but
the Neo Pluses have been there since the beginning, right? The pity.
if you're going on the regular banner, if you do the step up, you're not getting anything towards pity. So I think that's what people are referring to.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly.
So
So
choose the more dangerous part, the more dangerous way of pulling if you want to get the pity at some point.
there's two routes you can go. You can go. I think it's right here. Yeah, right here. So this is the step up, 7 steps. So 11, etc. You know, guaranteed. Regular NVs, off banner, not guaranteed Cloud. And then 50 fragments for Cloud. So you can go this route, or you can go this banner, which is just regular 5Ks. You do them 11 times, and you get Cloud for pity, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but 11 time is pretty expensive. One, what is it, 55K? So I guess it's just about the same as it would be on Global then.
Mm-hmm. Cheaper, huh?
Yeah, it's not so bad actually, and especially when you get content to get Lapis.
Yeah. How much was last one? Oh, last one was 45 on Global. So I guess it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a tiny bit, but you get more content to get the Lapis, so that's great. Like it evens out at the end.
Mm-hmm. Now we spent a long time talking about Cloud because he's so absolutely amazing. But and then Cloud's banner. There's Red. Not a lot to say about him. I mean, he's a really good damage dealer. Like I said, he's basically not counting the Undying with the Meteor card. He's like the second best damage dealer now. It's a lot less than Cloud though.
Yeah, they just basically don't compare at all. But the way they designed the units was to really synergize together. Because a few things Cloud doesn't do, Red can do to just like fill in the hole. He has a better support field, and I think that there's no 70% fire amp field yet. Are there, right?
I don't think so. I think the best is Saz, maybe still. Yeah, fire still needs that good field unit.
Well, now it's gonna be Red because Red has a 40% for fire and light.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then he's of course Neo Plus. His damage is really good, so yeah, so he is definitely your main fielder for fire right now.
Yeah, and he's got that cooldown ability that you can use if you're going off element. So his LB is fire, but if you want to use another element, you can go with his Drain Bite that it's called, and it's 8,000 time modifier.
Pretty good, yeah. And from the calculations, it's very similar to his SLB or LB. Is he SLB? I think he is.
He's an SLB, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's that, and then of course there's this other little banner. I never do these. Do you ever do these? This banner, this little weird banner.
On my alt account, I would do them to get the stamp potions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never do these.
No.
And then we've got just another. This is an 8.5 anniversary banner. Isn't that kind of cool? Just off topic slightly, that JP does anniversary twice a year. Like I wish Global did too.
True. Like and I mean the half anniversary is always such a big celebration too. Like it's not just hey, here's a quick banner, and then you're done. And there's a lot of things that they give out.
Oh, for sure. It's like the full scale. Like there's no like real anniversary and second. Like it's two fully fleshed out anniversaries completely.
Yeah, definitely feels like.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's this one. For 10K, you can get 22 Neos. Honestly speaking, for newer players, it's fine. But for veterans, like I personally, I've done it a few times, and I regretted it every single time. So I don't do these anymore.
Yeah, same. I regret it every time. Because, like, you get a ton of that unit that you have, like, already EX3 twice, and you're like, yep, I didn't need more.
Yeah, for veterans, the pool is just way too blue. Like, 10K for 22 Neos, it's good, but it's not good when most of them are like, the banner they're showing you are mostly newer units, but all the old ones are in the pool too.
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna pull, like, I'm gonna pull maybe 6 Locks and 2 Tyvus and 3 Noctis and maybe 1 Sophie. And I'll be like, woohoo, that's the one I needed.
Mm-hmm. And now we get to the actual content of the week, not the month, not the whatever, the content of the week. And there is a lot of it. So let's go through it and just, briefly talk about each of it. So first of all, we've got a raid. Not the most exciting, but it's a raid. It's something Global just doesn't really do anymore. I mean, when was our last raid on Global? Do you even remember? It's been a while.
We haven't had one 2 months, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been quite a while. So, it's a raid. It's not exciting, but it's something to do. You go in here, you farm, you get your stuff.
And still, and it's going to sound a bit weird, but I'm actually happy that we're having a raid now. So we're getting a little break from the grind of the new box system. Because the past 3 events, the box has completely doubled in size, and the event points you need to grind for are higher. So it's a long grind. 2 weeks to complete it is a little short, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. You definitely gotta take advantage of that auto farm system.
Yeah, you do.
And then of course JP. Every single event has JP in the last year or two ever done an event without either a gear quest or a crown stage or something, some kind of special EX boss for the week.
There's always something when there's a new unit coming out, either crowns for an older unit, or an EX ability, or an equipment ability for the unit that came out. So now, since NV Plus, we're always getting these EX abilities that we have yet to have any of on Global. I wonder if we're ever going to get them.
I know,
yes.
That's so ridiculous on Global because, on JP, when Neos came out, they just straight up mailed you a few freebies to use on, your Tifa or your last well until he gets EX3, etc. On Global, they cut that entire... it wasn't even content. It was literally just a mailbox reward on day one. You just logged in, it was there in your mailbox. And Global, how cheap can they be? They're scared to give out a 20% attack power materia. Or was the materia 40 and the dual one was 20?
Yeah, so the attack was 40 and then the other was 20 for attack, defense, spirit, and magic.
Yeah. And Global won't give it to us.
We completely skip. We could use that for the Tifa that we have for free.
Mm-hmm. And for JP, this week they're getting a 60% EX materia that goes in that slot number 5 by killing this EX stage boss. And these, I'm actually, to be honest here, I haven't really played JP much in the past month or so. But these bosses are usually pretty challenging to get all the missions, right? Because they're series locked up in there. Go ahead.
They're not series locked, but the missions are. So if you want to get everything, you need to do it with special teams. Like the current one for FF2. I haven't tried getting her with the FF2 team, but I do have Emperor, so I should probably go try. But they're really hard. You need to properly set up a team. It's not just go in there and one turn KO. You got to set up a team. It's a proper trial, but they're on limited time, so that's it's kind of a shame.
So I'm kind of curious your thoughts, your real thoughts on exactly what you just said. Exactly what you said. These are literally trial difficulty. They are quite hard to do, and you do have a limited time to do them. So do you think? Because okay, so let's play devil's advocate and look at it from all angles. Like a newer player that's going to come in and fight this guy, there's no way he can win. You can't take a friend. Actually, for these you can, can't you? But one friend cannot carry this. It can't be done.
No.
So a newer player straight up cannot kill this. Period. They just can't do it. It cannot be done. Even veteran players struggle on these kind of fights.
Yeah.
Do you think, honestly speaking, tell me the truth here, do you feel that it's better that Global has cut these entirely from the game, therefore you don't have newer players that are maybe irritated they can't kill it, and even though it leaves veteran players like, we have nothing to do? Or do you think it's dumb? Because I think it's dumb. I think it's fine that a newer player cannot clear all content every single week. That's the whole point of becoming a veteran player, is that you work towards the goal of being able to kill these kind of bosses. Global's cut it entirely. Go ahead.
My point of view on it is actually the same as you. Like, it's all right if you can't clear it. Sure, they're time limited, and it's a bit annoying, but you can always go and replay them with the keys. I think they are regularly dropping them in the keys, so the key dungeon, so you can just spend a key to go and do it. If you don't succeed in killing the boss, then you're not even expending a key, so you can try again. And like, newer players won't have enough keys to try them all, but they're gonna work towards getting the keys while they're working to get the units to be able to do it at the same time. So I feel like it's only fair. Like, obviously, it's kind of irritating on DP when I try and hit my head against a trial. I'm like, oh, I gotta sit down, figure out the fight, and do it. But it's just me being lazy.
Yeah. It really frustrates me that we don't have these on Global. Global has always skipped the really, really hard weekly EX bosses. Or some of the ones Global has brought over, they've actually nerfed them. Like, it's been confirmed that they've nerfed them. Like, the HP will be lower. You remember, we're going back time on Global. Do you remember the EX boss for the premium Tifa and Sephiroth that came like 2 years ago? What was his name? Epps or something? The one for the... Do you remember what I'm talking about? And the Shadow Bayman?
It was Abs, the one in the sewer you're talking about, or are you talking about?
This thing a while ago. Yeah, Global cut the HP on those by like 40%. I forget the exact amount, so someone's getting mad. Oh, it's only like 35 or 30%. Whatever it was, they like really nerfed the HP. So it was the same fight, but the HP was cut down by like 40. Let's make up a number. It had like 2 billion HP on JP. It had like 1,200 or 1.2 on Global. Like, it was a massive nerf. For the same fight. So even when we do get these really hard fights, Global like really holds your hand and nerfs them so hard. Do you think, do you think that's a good thing that Global nerfs these and like holds everyone's hand to make them super easy? Or should they leave them as hard as they are on the JP server?
I think they should. Like, I'm a little bit half and half on this. So I'd rather they leave it like they are, so they don't have to work on things. No extra time, development times on it. But I also like it when they allow us more creativity in the team that you're bringing. So no series lock. Even though series lock sometimes are cool, like to relive the fight as if you were playing. But then it's kind of locking out certain players because you don't have the proper team. Say like Final Fantasy 2 right now. There is no good unit in Final Fantasy 2 unless if you pull for the new units that just came out. So forced to use them it's really annoying. So if they remove the series lock but leave the stats as is, we can go ham and have fun on the way with the fight. And if people want to restrict themselves, they still can.
Yep. So there's that. And this is kind of hilarious. Here is the weekly blue or the Azure Pearl farm for the new units. JP has these every single week. Every single week, it's a brand new boss. Like I said, and these are easy. The blue Pearl bosses, they're very easy. You go in there and you kill them on turn 1. But I just think it's cool just to be able to see the cool sprite every week. Like, this is... I don't know what this is, honestly, but it looks cool.
Mithril Giant.
Oh, Mithril Giant. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's right here. But yeah, so... And this is how you farm your pearls. And Global at the current time is in, like, this limbo. Like, we don't know how rare pearls are going to be. We do know that as of right this minute, there's a maximum of 3 units you can awaken. Obviously, there's only 2 in the game, but people that pull duplicates, etc. I mean, you shouldn't awaken more than 2 anyway this week. But like next week, we're probably going to get Cow. There's a big question mark of how many pearls are going to come in that event. So pearls are very limited on global right now. We don't know if that's always going to be the case. But I'd rather them have just left it alone like JP is and let me just farm them. It takes like 5 minutes to farm enough pearls with auto repeat. And it doesn't have that cloud over my head of using a limited resource.
Yeah, I love the pun you've made there. Cloud over your head.
that was totally accidental.
But the one thing I noticed as well, I think there was a bug with the blue pearls on global when they released, and people were able to buy them twice in the trust shop. Or something like that. Anyway, I know there was a bug. I just don't know exactly what it was because I couldn't make use of it, if ever it was useful. But I'm really scared as well. Like, are they gonna cut units because they're just gonna give us enough pearls for the units that they want to release? Or are they going to be like edging us and never have enough pearls, and you're going to have to think, okay, should I pull for this one or wait next week so I can get this better one instead and awaken them? Like, why do this when they can just port the fights? Or if they didn't want to port the fight, just give us access to them like without a limit. Sure, the trust coins, that's good, but no limit for it. Like, let's buy as many as we want, as many as we need.
Exactly. It's so goofy. And not to mention, when these do go into the milestone rewards of Dark Visions and Clash of Wills, they're replacing something. It might be replacing just like an LB pot, which is not that big a deal, but it's still replacing something.
Well, they can replace the UC tickets. We have too many of those.
Yeah. True. And then some more content. Road to Glory. So this is basically JP's version of Clash of Wills. Now, it's not nearly the same thing as Clash of Wills, but it's the same concept. So the reward for this one is the JP version of Sky. It's not the same unit. It's a freebie unit. But here you can see on the screen like the modifier system. Of course, like I said, the auto-translate won't translate images. But this is basically JP's version of Clash of Wills. I showed a video of it actually in the past on the JP server. Here's that's just abilities for Sky. No one cares. Like it's Sky. She's old and she's not going to be good on JP either. Let's just be honest here. But you get a bunch of rewards. A guaranteed Neo ticket, stuff like that, and it's cool. It's fun to do at least. It's content.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't like repeating it too much, so like I try to do a first one without any mods, and then I go with as much as I can push it, and then I just leave it there and hope I sink crystal. Because it's just the encounter rate I don't like.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely the encounter rate is astronomical. The enemies are very, very bulky. They're very hard to OTK, especially if you're doing the missions for like the restricted teams, and it's grindy. I'll be honest here. It's grindy. It's a headache.
Yeah, but it's fun to have something to play with. It's a new event, so I guess they're gonna fine tune it more and more. But it's nice to have.
Mm-hmm. It's content. That's the point. Because this week on Global, like other than logging in once per day to do my video summons and get nothing at all, I've done nothing. This is going on for like 2 or 3 weeks. Literally nothing to do.
And it's been what, 2 or 3 weeks without anything at all?
Yeah, it's so insane.
Crazy. Yeah, and I mean, you got JP there. It's just dropping like 8 different events at the same time.
Yeah, like we got a raid, we've got a trial boss phase. This is literally a trial boss for a EX materia. Got the Blue Pearl stage. Just argue if we can call this a content or not, but it's something to do. Road to Glory is absolutely that is very time consuming to do Road to Glory. So that's going to take you the entire week to knock that out. Yeah, I mean it's stuff to do, and then of course we've got more. We've got a story update. Now Global still does these once a month. We can't really compare it and say they don't. They still do story updates, but a season 4 story update with Van Harma, who we do know who he is. We're not going to say because that's a spoiler for Global, but a story update. And I don't want to go too much into the story because most of my viewers are Global and they don't want to be spoiled that far ahead. But Do you, just out of curiosity, do you keep up with the current story on JP Ultros?
Not much, honestly, but I do know who Van Harma is. Because there's one of my friends who keeps bugging me like, do we know? Do we know? Do we know? It's like, yep, now we know. Here's who that is.
Yep.
And he was super surprised. So prepare for big shock was revealed on Global.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will ask people in the comments, don't post it. People, if you want to know who Van Harma is, you can join the Reddit Discord and go to the JP Spoilers channel. And in that channel will be all about it. You can read all about it. You can spoil yourself to your heart's content. There you go. And then there's some more stuff for the news. This is mostly just small changes. There are going to be 10 daily free polls. These are always trash. They always are. Stuff right here. This is mostly just giveaways, freebie stuff. The main thing I wanted to bring this up though is this. This is again just more ways that JP does content. So do you like the way they do these like specialty quests where you've got to go back and clear old content? Because I'm a little mixed on this, because like on the one hand, it's technically giving you things to do in the game, but going back and like OTKing the Wicked Moon trial with Neovision units, like, is there really a point to that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the point of it is kind of lame, but I appreciate those because it's free stuff, so I always like it and it's easy to go and get. You're like, oh yeah, I'm missing like 50 lapis for my pole. I forgot I still had these to do. Let me go and get some. And with these, we're getting like that special anniversary thing, which is probably going to be a 10 pole or something.
It's for this right here. Yeah, so this will be, if you do all these weird little quests, you'll get this free pull, which gives you 5 guaranteed Neos from this list. It's not really a great... actually, it is a pretty good list. Like Chaos Bismarck, Sophie. That's some good units there.
Is it 5? Because on the image, like I'm reading 85.
Guaranteed to be 5 out of 15 target units. Right here.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Because I'm like 85 what?
So you get 5 of these. The Esper of Ruin, Fina. Like actually, some of these are pretty good now. I'm looking at it. Some of them are bad, like Hope. Like no one wants Hope.
No.
No one wants Orlando. Let's be honest here. He's premium, but he's trash. But some of these are like really good. Like Chaos Bismarck is great. Sophie is obviously super meta. There's some good stuff on this list and free. And you're getting 5 of these.
And look, I'm gonna get like Agrias, Lock, and Vanille, and I'm like, that's it, uninstall.
Oh jeez. I hope not. I hope you get better. And here's some login rewards. Now, to be fair, this is the JP anniversary, so these are not the usual login rewards. Like you're not getting 5 Emperor Cactuars on a random week. But I'm just anniversary login rewards. It's nice. It's nice.
Yep, very good actually.
Mm-hmm. And then here's just some more like general updates. So they're adding a 5th tab to the Vortex. A UI change, convenient. More sorting is nice. This right here. When can we get this on global? So they're adding auto repeat to raids. Why was this not in on day 1 of auto repeat being added?
No idea. It should have been there since so long ago, and I'm so mad that we're gonna have to wait another 6 months before we get this on global, if we get it.
Or longer. I know. But auto repeat for all 10 raid orbs. Cannot wait for this to come to global.
Mm-hmm.
Some more quality of life changes.
Use those raid orbs I have, raid potions I have.
Oh, the raid potions, yeah. Jeez.
Using them.
Some other quality of life changes. You can now scroll on the enhancement window before you couldn't. Actually, honestly, this kind of annoyed me before because I'm one that usually does do the scrolling and you can't on here. It's always irritated me, but now you can.
I was losing my mind over this when Entity arrived. I was like, but why did they change this? I don't want that new UI. Can I go back to the old one?
And then some other small stuff, like they're changing the way encounter rate down and all that works. I'm not going to go into all the super details. But here's another thing I wanted to cover. So reprint event content. This is something JP does every single week, is they're constantly rerunning old content as well. Global, I don't want to say never, like they've done it like twice in 7 years where they've rerun an event while doing a current event. Why doesn't Global do this too? Like, this is so good for newer players that can catch up on missed content.
It is. It's great to bring back, those things people have missed, like the Netha site. I do not have on my account on Global. Obviously, I can use Ash's Sword, but it'd be nice to have it on the Materia.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the Reflect Ring that people keep whining about when you use it on a video. Or what else? What's the other thing that people want to get all the time? I think there was something else. Anyway,
there's a bunch of global stuff that people are miss, like the Jade Moon pendant. They're like, please rerun that.
Mm-hmm. But there's so many things. It's free for them. Like it's content they already have, already translated everything. Just need to put it back in the code for that week.
Exactly. Just rerun the event. Like, it's not like going to burn out veterans because it's still already clear. So veterans that have already done this, it's already done. There's literally no reason for you to run it again. It's purely for new player happiness, and it's such a good thing.
It is. Like, it's free clout for them, too, if they were doing it, honestly. Like, some goodwill, finally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's a bunch of stuff being rerun this week. JP does this every single week. Again, some other just quality of life changes. You can stack, a lot of items that were capped at 999 are now being capped at 10,000 or 100,000. That's obviously a huge quality of life. Awakening materials. Like, actually, I've got a bunch of these. I've scrolled through my inventory before, and I've got, like, each individual crystal. I have, like, 7 stacks of each crystal. So this would be, like, a lot of space saved for me.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're adding more skins. They're adding the new units to the skin swaps. Again, this is something else Global doesn't do. Is the unit skin system where you can change the costumes of units. Terra you can make your Neo Terra into the Magitech Terra. You can make your Hayo into the Phoenix Hayo. Stuff like that. Global's added like 5 of them, and then they just stopped.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. But JP does it every single week, don't they?
Well, I think every time they add a unit, if it's a unit that already existed.
Oh, well, yeah. Obviously, brand new units that don't have an alternate version, you can't do it. But for units that have alternate versions, JP always adds them to the dress up system.
Mm-hmm. And like, I never use it because I'm simple minded. I get confused, so I can't use it because I forget what unit is that. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty cool for people who like other skins for units.
Exactly. And then some, whatever, bug fixes, and there's a whole list of bugs. There's always bug fixes in the JP list, like all the bug fixes every week. We're not going to go over all that. It's a bug, they fixed it, yay.
Yeah.
So that was the weekly content for JP. So we had, 40 minutes talking about the JP news. And this was literally talking about the news almost. I guess I did went on a few tangents, but for the most part, this was just discussing the news. And because there's stuff to do on the JP server, which is a major problem on Global, is there's nothing to do anymore, right?
Yeah, it's such a change having all these things to do, and like I'm excited for the server reset. Well, now it's open. I haven't opened it, but to go and do your polls, get the events in, try some stuff, and get all the rewards from the events, from the things that you can go and grind. There's so much to do now. It's fun. And then on Global, when there's maintenance, after the maintenance, you basically log in and you do it in 5 minutes, and then you just log in every day to do the daily for another week and wait for the next one.
Yep. Pretty much. But thanks again for joining me. I know I did keep you after the servers are now up, so you can go log in, do your polls for Cloud. I might pull for Cloud too. I might just, update my game, log in and pull for Cloud. I've got like 600K, so I could do it.
You should go and make a poll video out of this. I tell you, it'd be popular.
I might. Maybe I'll do that on Wednesday. As something to do. Monday was the JP news. Tuesday would be the Global news. Wednesday would be the polls for Cloud, potentially.
Sounds good. I'll look out for it.
All right. Thanks again for joining me.
Always a pleasure, man. Take care.
Later.
Bye.